Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video is for Advanced Geometry, Chapter 6, Section 3, proving that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So what we're going to learn today are basically the converses of the theorems that you learned in Section 2. And these theorems can be used to prove that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So used to prove a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So the first one says, if both pairs of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So this one is the converse of the parallelogram opposite sides congruent theorem. Okay, and this one we will prove in class. The next one says, if both pairs of opposite angles of a quadrilateral are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So this one is the converse of the parallelogram opposite angles congruent theorem. And the last one is the converse of the diagonal theorem. So this one says, if the diagonals of a quadrilateral bisect each other, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So this one is the converse of the parallelogram diagonal bisect theorem. So what we now know is that each one of these theorems is actually an if and only if statement. You know, if the opposite sides are congruent if and only if the figure is a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and the same with the angles and the diagonals. So first thing we'll do is we'll do the proof of this, but we'll do that in class. Now the next one is one that is not a converse theorem. And this one says that if only one pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is congruent and parallel, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So if I have a parallelogram, and I can prove that maybe this set of opposite sides, A, B, and C, D, I can prove that they're congruent and that they're parallel, then I actually don't need to know anything about the other two sides. I know that they're congruent. Okay. So for this one, it's not a converse theorem. This one is parallelogram, opposite side congruent and parallel theorem. This is the one that a lot of students forget, and if you forget it, it's not that you absolutely can't do a proof, but it'll make it so much harder for you to do it. So make sure you don't forget this one because it's the only one that's not a converse. So the last thing we have is to solve. So for this one, for what value of x must it be a parallelogram? So if it's a parallelogram, then diagonals bisect each other, so we would have to know that 2y minus 7 would equal y plus 2. And if we subtract the y, we get y, and we add the 7, we get 9. Okay, and then we can use that to find the other one. So 3x also equals y, so that means 3x equals 9, and x equals 3. So the value is 3. And that is it for today's notes. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care.